Hey guys, what's cracking? It's Crack Nation here. We are coming at you guys today to talk about a competitive analysis for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Today we're going over Flapple. We already did Appletun, and we're going to take a look at Flapple today, which is the alternate evolutionary path of that Pokemon, and if Flapple will be a competitively viable Pokemon, and how you can try to fit it into your competitive team. Before I get into that, huge shout out. We are like this close to crossing 600 subscribers, and I did almost 5 years of YouTubing, and I barely even broke 200, and we're about to reach 600 after just these past few days, which is so exciting. So huge thank you to you guys. I'm not a huge channel. I'm not trying to be. It's nice enough for me. I enjoy making the content, and I enjoy helping people learn how to play competitive Pokemon and do their very best in competitive Pokemon. But it's been awesome to see all this outcry of support. If you want to continue to support this channel, feel free to drop a subscription. Always very appreciated. You can check out our Discord in the description box below. If you want to join our community of competitive Pokemon players, hoping to improve our knowledge base as a group, feel free to like this video, and if you leave a comment down below, I try to respond to as many of them as I possibly can. So definitely let me know in the comment section below what you think about this video and Flapple is in general. But let's go ahead and get into this Pokemon and what we think. So, like Appletun, Flapple is a grass dragon. Is it a little dragon dude coming out of an apple? So it's a little confusing to look at, I realize, but definitely has a chance to be pretty competitively viable, I think. I think a lot of people wrote this guy off, and the more I look at it, like, certain things have to fall right for it, but it's got the chance to be really competitively viable. Grass Dragon is a pretty interesting typing, not fantastic. You're going to have that 4 times ice weakness, so you want to be careful about that. But beyond that, there is some room for this Pokemon to do some work. So the ability of note here, so Ripen, first of all, is going to give you 50%, it's going to double the effect, I should say, of all of your berries that you use. So that's definitely notable. But I think the most notable ability on this guy is Hustle. If you can get a Hustle on your Flapple, that could be monstrous, because Hustle will give you a 50% boost to all of your physical attacks at the cost of 20% accuracy, or I should say for 80% accuracy is what you will be at from your original move. So it's a trade-off there, but we've seen Pokemon like Durant in the past be really good thanks to Hustle, so Hustle could make this Flapple set really good. It has access to some moves to support it, so we're going to take a look at that. Let's take a look at these stats. Obviously, nothing really stands out here besides that attack stat. Pretty mediocre stats across the board. Nothing awful. It's got below average bulk, decent amount of special attack, below average speed. 110 attack is pretty good. Not fantastic, not excellent or anything like that, but pretty good, usable. And if we consider that Hustle boost, all of a sudden becomes very threatening. 110 attack with a Hustle stat, with that Hustle, is going to be extremely intimidating for your opponent to take on, especially once we go into its move pool. So it learns a couple really useful moves for it. First up, the biggest move we have to talk about is Dragon Dance. So I think Flapple's outright, its best set will be the Dragon Dancing set. I think you're going to want to run Dragon Dance when you run Flapple. It's got some good options, both on the physical and special side. Mostly you're going to want to run those physical moves. Things like Outrage is going to be its best dragon move, so that's going to be kind of tough. So Dragon, that was what I was trying to say, is a little poor on the stab set, but Draco Meteor is an option. Dragon Pulse, got options there. It's got some good physical and special grass moves. Things like Grav Apple is its signature move, and Grav Apple is a really good physical grass move. 80 base power, but guaranteed to lower your opponent's defense by 1 every time that you use it. So that's going to be really awesome. Flapple definitely, thanks to that, will have a chance to see some competitive play, I expect. That's going to be a really good set for it to run. Sucker Punch, furthermore, is going to be a move you could run to get priority on some Pokemon. It's got some options with survivability, things like Leech Seed. Not going to be its best option. It's also got things like Fly. U-Turn also is a good pivot move. U-Turn is always a move you've got to consider every time you see it, so definitely has the chance to see some moves with competitive play. So I think Dragon Dance, though, is going to be your best set overall. You're going to want to run physical moves with that. Physical moves plus Dragon Dance plus a decent attack stat plus Hustle. There's definitely a recipe for success here. Get it? It's an apple, maybe like a recipe. I don't know. Maybe that was a stretch. But so we're going to look at the first set I have here, and this is the Dragon Dance set that I've been talking about. I'm going to go ahead and give this thing a Life Orb. You could give it a different item, so you might want to reconsider that. I'm not sure. But we're going to look at the other options you've got here. So Hustle's going to give you that attack boost, 252 attack, 252 speed, and a Jolly Nature. Because it's not that fast, 70 speed is not great. You're going to want to maximize that speed so you can outspeed as many fast Pokemon as you can after +1 Dragon Dance. So Dragon Dance is going to be obviously boosting your attack and speed by +1. Grav Apple being that great stab grass move. Outrage is going to be your go-to attack once steel types and fairy types are out of the picture. Especially if there's no fairy types in the picture, just click Outrage, go to town, break open some skulls. I think that's going to be a really good option. Outrage is going to be devastatingly powerful in this Pokemon. Finally, Sucker Punch or Wing Attack. Neither of these is very good. There's not a great move to put in the last spot. I guess you could also make it U-turn if you wanted to give it a pivot option earlier in the match. That could definitely be an option. But I think Sucker Punch is a good option for hitting those Scarfers in the game that'll come into Revenge Kill. So I think I would go with Sucker Punch, if anything, as your best option. But Wing Attack is an option too if you want to hit things you weren't previously hitting, maybe like a Grass type or something, and you didn't want to click Outrage. It doesn't unfortunately get a move to hit Steel types. If it did get like maybe like an Earthquake or something, that would be automatically the move you run, but it gets nothing to hit those Steel types, unfortunately. So the next set I've got here is a Scarf set. So we're going to replace Dragon Dance with U-turn and run a Scarf instead of the Life Orb. This set's still going to manage to hit pretty hard thanks to Hustle, but it's not going to hit quite as hard because you're going to miss out on the Dragon Dance boost. You're still going to want to be a Jolly Nature so you can get that speed as high as you can. This set will be more of a pivot, an offensive pivot, grab you some momentum in the game. You could also Revenge Kill some slower stuff, some slower sweepers. Grab Apple still going to be a great move to click in a lot of situations. Outrage will be your go-to move if Fairy types are dead usually. And then I wouldn't run Sucker Punch on a Scarfmon, obviously, so I guess I would probably go for Wing Attack on that last spot. You could consider Sucker Punch, I guess, if you're desperate to outspeed a faster Pokemon, just because, again, Scarf Flapple still isn't that fast. So you could consider Sucker Punch, although I would not suggest it on a Scarf set. Wing Attack might be the move you go for, or Fly if you're considering going down that route. Fly will give you some more damage per hit, but you'll have to, obviously give some initiative over to your opponent to switch out on the turn you're charging. So obviously any Pokemon has pros and cons. Some pros and cons of Flapple. This Pokemon can hit hard as a truck. With Hustle and Dragon Dance sets, this set will just absolutely deal damage as long as you're connecting and you're not missing. Obviously Hustle gives you that accuracy drop, so you're going to have to deal with that. And it's going to, for as many games with Flapples, Hustle might win you. There's also the chance that it'll lose you some along the way too. Grab Apple is just a really great stab move. Any move that drops a defense stat by 1 on the turn you click it is always worth noting. That's going to be a really good move you can use. Access to good setup in the form of Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance is a fantastic setup move. And mixed coverage options as well. So you have like things like Air Slash or Energy Ball, Draco Meteor. Those moves will give you some mixed coverage options. There are some cons though. You're going to have pretty bad bulk overall. Finding a good opportunity to set up on a Pokemon might be difficult. You're going to have to set up on something that you threaten out, probably. It's got poor speed without boost, so obviously if you notice both of the sets that I recommended have ways to boost your speed. You have no way really to touch Steel types. And unfortunately, Hustle accuracy, when it eventually fails you and you lose a game because of it, it will hurt your soul. And you're going to come back to this video and tell me that you told me to use Hustle. Why did you tell me to use Hustle? And I want to tell you right now that I told you it's going to hurt your accuracy. You're going to lose some games because of it, but I think Flapple could also win you some games because of it. So you're going to have to take the good with the bad there. Let's look at some team options when you're building around Flapple. You're going to want to pair any kind of sweeper like Flapple with a Hazard Setter. That will help you get some chip, help you break some focus sashes, stuff like that. Steel types are a good partner for Flapple because it's going to be really weak to ice moves and dragon moves as well. So you're going to want to bring in Steel types when something might be able to click a fast ice move or like an ice shard or something like that. Things that beat Steel types are also really valuable because it's going to have a really hard time breaking through Steel types in general. Wall breakers are good if your opponent has really good physical walls, like we kind of mentioned in the bigger threats column. A good wall breaker could really help Flapple to break through it during its sleep. You don't want to have to fall back on that pretty poor defensive stat when something walls you. Finally, if you're running that Scarf set, pivot partners could be good. Pivot cores are in general good for sweepers just because it's gonna allow your sweepers to get some chip on the things they need before they come in and sweep to ease their KO chances in general. Steel types are going to be a big threat to Flapple, like we talked about. It's got no effective way to hit Steel types whatsoever, especially because a lot of Steel types are physically defensive, so you're going to be even more pressed to find a good way to hit Steel types. Now, Grab Apple will help because you're going to be lowering that defense stat. So if a Steel type is lowered by something like a Wall Breaker, you might be able to break through it with your Flapple. Decent priority users are going to be something you need to look out for. No matter how high you boost your speed, an extreme speed will always have the chance to just knock you out if you're already weakened. So you're going to want to keep your Flapple as healthy as you can prior to setting it up. So maybe like screen support could be helpful if you wanted to for setting up, but every sweeper wants screen support, obviously, so that goes without saying. Finally, just physical walls in general. A really bulky physical wall could be a problem for Flapple, but it's nice that Grab Apple gives it the chance to bust through some walls as well, because in a situation where you need to fire off 2 hits, Grab Apple could be like you could get to a Grab Apple and then switch to Outrage and just punish something and break through it. Always the option there, but you want to look out for physical walls and probably pair it with some wall breaking just in case. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. It is always really appreciated. This Flapple video has been weirdly highly requested. I think Flapple is kind of flying under the radar. This thing could be a really huge threat if Hustle doesn't hold it back too much. So let me know what you guys thought of this video. If you want to support this channel, make sure you subscribe, guys. It's always so appreciated. It makes me really feel good about what I'm doing and makes sure that I know that you guys want me to continue and keep up with this content. Join our Discord chat below. You can go there and talk about competitive Pokemon with us, see how everyone's doing. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Cracking Nation out.